Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. On today's segment, we will be discussing priorities. And I know that this is a very big one for most of our people in leadership. Those particular positions that have so many things to do on a daily basis. Where do we start? Sometimes we never get done with the things we have to do. There's just so much. So I wanted to share with you some quick tips on how you can improve on your productivity, your task list, prioritizing, kind of know how to go about putting those things into categories. And I wanted to share with you a matrix. I know most of you are familiar with this matrix, and it talks about things that are urgent versus important. It also discusses how to prioritize those items. And lots of times we confuse urgent and important. Urgent means we really have to do it right now. It has impact. So you have to do it immediately. It's happening right now. So you want to make sure that when you're dealing with those urgent things, those are the things that kind of hijack your day. Some things pop up. You really have to deal with it, and no one else can take over that task, or no one else can do that task. But there are some other things as well that poor planning kind of causes us to get sidetracked, and we never really get those done. And it's important to set those deadlines on those things that are happening. And one of the biggest things that you find is that we don't delegate enough to the people that are around us. So look at the things that you have to do and ask yourself, is it required for me to do all of these things? Are all of these things required of me? Are there anyone else around me who can fulfill this item? Do they have the skills to complete them accurately? And with delegation, you want to be extremely careful, because sometimes you delegate to a task to persons and they're not properly trained or equipped to deal with those tasks. And that can also put you in a situation. So you want to make sure that when you're delegating, that you first of all build a team, or a strong team, that they understand the task, they understand the process, the implementations, whatever items that you are working on, that they have a full understanding of that. And you know the competency of the people that are in your team. So that way you know exactly who to delegate to. And delegation has to happen in phases as well, because you have to learn how to uh, give small increments of tasks to team members and kind of monitor them with that. Lots of times you want to kind of drop it in their lap to say, deal with this, but they really do need the guidance. There's some level of training that you will have to invest that time to kind of get them ready for that stage. So you have to first look at building a strong team or a competent team to be able to take off some of those workloads or those tasks from you. But delegation is extremely important for persons in specific positions, because you will feel overwhelmed if it's a case where you are delegating, you're not delegating, and you have to take on all of that workload. It definitely will pose an issue with your flexibility and freedom to make decisions. So fatigue will step in and all of that. So you want to be very mindful with that. A very interesting way that there's several ways that you can kind of take hold of your day, or prioritize your day and the things you have to get done. And at first have to ask yourself is, what are you hoping to accomplish today? So the things that you're hoping to do today, you want to make sure that you're making a full list of all of those things, whether they are minor or major things. Just make a full list of all of those things. And once you make a full list of those things, then you're going to look to see, how do I categorize these items? Are these items all necessary for me to do? And there's sometimes you can say no to some things, because you keep saying yes to taking on other tasks, that, it becomes so overwhelming that you now have 45 things to do on your list. So you want to make a complete list of things that you have to do. Some people like to use an ABC method. Some people like to use a 1, 2, 3, whatever works for you. But make a complete list of the things, and then you would categorize those things into 4 categories. So you put in those things into 4 categories: the urgent, the important, the things you can delegate, and the things you have to remove. And some of the things you will realize that they're really unnecessary things that you have on your list to do. and someone else can get them done. But with doing that delegation, you want to also ensure that you're following up with that person to see that those tasks gets completed within a timely manner. You are still responsible for that task. So it doesn't relieve you of the responsibility, but you are still the responsible party, delegating with the team members to ensure that it's done. So make your full list and then dissect that. And you will always find, for me, what works, I make a list daily. And those items that I was not able to complete on the previous day, then I will roll those over to the following day to kind of keep putting that. And make sure that your list is handwritten, because we're using so many calendars and this app, but I can tell you, writing your list out gives you so much clarity on, what are the things that are required of you, and even sometimes why are you doing them. If you are a business owner, then your priorities will be very different from those persons working in positions within organizations. If you're a supervisor, then there's certain things that you will have to get done. So different persons are at different levels will have, your list will look a little bit different. For owners and CEOs, your list will look more of what is the vision, what is the end goal, and what are the things you're doing to work up to that goal. So everyone will have a different looking list on their sheet. But it's important to write it down daily and designate one particular journal to that item. There's some really great planners that are very inexpensive that you can purchase that works extremely efficient with that. And you have the days. So each day, even if there are items 3 months ahead, you can kind of plan that in the future, 3 months ahead, to say, okay, well, on June 15th, I have this item. So you kind of pencil that in on that date. But rolling over your to-do list and writing those daily, if you have to rewrite an item 6 times, better believe you'll want to just either get it done, delegate it, or remove it altogether. So it's an extremely simple but effective way of making sure that you are staying on top of the things that you have to do, and that you are also super productive in that. Because what happens if when you're working in a very coherent way, and you're focusing on a specific group of things and you know where your priorities are, then that helps you to move a little bit faster in terms of your work productivity. And you will be extremely surprised to know that the work that took you 5 hours to do can now be completed within 3 hours, because you now have a more structured and focused workflow of how things need to run. So that's all I have to share today on this topic. I am hopeful that this have brought you some guidance, some help, and I look forward to seeing you in future episodes. Thank you for tuning in.